Ladies and gents, thank you so much for still being part of us. Really appreciate this opportunity that has been given to us. Without wasting time, I would like to introduce the second part of this online session. Welcome to Unit 2 of the Robotics and Environmental Sciences. I'm Dumelon Chapo. Thank you so much. And as I've indicated, Unit 2 is the introduction of robotics and the My 2050 environmental calendar. And here the learning outcomes are talking about the history of the My 2050 environmental calculator, as well as we'll be discussing the purpose of this My 2050 environmental calculator, and explaining different ways of how to use this My 2050 environmental calculator, specifically using robotics. All right. So now I am going to open the MOOC portal. So the MOOC portal will serve as a guide. This is also to encourage you to be part of this learning course or free online course. So as I've indicated earlier on, this online course, you do not have to be a registered UNISA student, and there are no fees involved in you being part of this online course. And feel free to be part of this. This is a learning journey for some of you, and for some of us, for some, this is one of those courses that will keep us entertained and, busy. And yes, as I've indicated, part of the learning units, we're going to explain what is the My 2050 environmental calculator. All right, so this My 2050 environmental calculator, the sources can be found under syllabus, under the syllabus tab, and then you slide and go to the My 2050 environmental calculator. This is where you can find, for example, the booklet where they talk about the basics of climate change. So this is also a continuous from the previous unit 1 that we had, whereby Ms. Mutene highlighted the effects of acidification. And here we will be talking about some different factors or effects that result from acidification, such as what is climate change and the likes. So this booklet is very handy, and it can be found also on the syllabus tab. So this booklet, you can educate the young ones about what is climate change. You have different options, whether to read this book, or if you don't want to read this book, just look for those keywords, such as what needs to be done. It's like educating people engage with different types of businesses to reduce carbon emissions or greenhouse gases. Or you can help people and nature adapt to a changing climate, or advance policies to fight climate change. This is where you can even join different activism groups. And then here, these are some of the keywords that one can use. I remember in our previous session, we used words such as acid rain, your vegetation, your photosynthesis. So the best part about this book here, they explain the way, they show the image, and you can even see they're saying what are predators. These are the frogs, or the frog that eats ants, and they even talk about the microbes. These are millions of tiny microbes in the soil that live off waste material and things that have died. They produce substances that plants need to grow. So if, for example, your soil is contaminated, you also affect this at the end of the day. So this is one of the booklets that one can use as well. And as I've indicated, this booklet can be found on the syllabus tab. And then here, this is the activity for the My 2050 calculator. On this activity booklet, So here they just highlight, or it's highlighting some different words or keywords, as I've indicated, like what is climate change. You can play a game of asking your learners. This is just the basis. This is the theory part of it. And what are GHG? This is greenhouse gas emissions and the greenhouse gas effect. What is climate adaptation and what is climate mitigation? So these are some of the words or the mini topics that one can introduce to the learners. So I'll certainly encourage you, educators, as well as students that are interested into this, that you can go through this syllabus tab and click on this. You can even read on that interesting tab there on number 9, where it talks about the energy demand. And we have what are trade-offs, options to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the energy sector, your international climate change governance, what is sustainable development, what is South Africa's peak plateau and decline. So this is basically what I'm just showing you of some of the documents that we have under the Robotics and Environmental Sciences syllabus tab. And then now, for the fun part of things, we go to the South African My 2050 calculator. All right, so first things first, what I'm going to do is that if you are next to your computer, what you can do, simply go on Google. Once you go to Google, type My 2050 calculator. Once you're done, the first tab that you're going to see that's written My 2050 calculator, you click on it. Once you click on it, for the purposes of my presentation, I'll say no sound. And you can keep your screen there, but I want to touch on this so that you can understand what is this. So this is the 2050 pathways calculator, whereby it is an interactive tool where the user can investigate ways of how South Africa can reach its low carbon goals by the year 2050, while learning about climate and energy. These are the different supply and demand options of South African energy system that can be modified to explore the limits and possibilities of their choices in terms of energy supply and greenhouse gas emissions. So this My 2050 calculator is a simplified version of the 2050 pathways calculator. So some of the objectives here include things like gaining an understanding of the major sources of greenhouse gas emissions in South Africa, exploring the supply and demand interventions that could assist the country to reduce its emissions. So some of the key learning processes here, it's critical thinking, analytical inquiry, numerical skills, empathizing with others, discussion and debate, working with others to solve problems, advocating for policy change at local and national level. So this is an online simulation app. So here, this is where you can educate the young ones about climate change. But you need to understand something. It is important to highlight this using such simulations, because remember, when someone sees something, it's easier for them to remember, unlike when you tell them. And it's also easier for the young ones to also do or practicalize what they've learned because of what they are seeing and what they are hearing, as well as doing. So you can see that on that top bar, it's a red bar. So that bar there, it explains the target, or it's a ruler that talks about any option that you select that will influence the ruler in terms of being green. As I've indicated, the objective here is to ensure that you reduce as much as possible the greenhouse gas emissions. And as I've shown you those documents that I was going through the syllabus tab, those documents indicated that what is greenhouse gas emissions, what is climate change. You know, when you start reading those documents to your learners. So now I'm specifically talking to you educators or some of you few robotics coaches. This is when you are now educating your learners those words and now you implement such simulation apps. So these simulation apps are very helpful because every decision that you make, for example, if the thing is, I won't touch more about this because this app, it's a very interactive app. It needs you to start looking at it, read through those documents. After reading through the documents, you apply it, and then you share feedback with us. You let us know that, no, this app worked or it didn't work, and the young ones, find it interesting or not. Please share those ideas with us. We'd like to hear. And the nice thing about this app, again, is that you as an educator, you or a person that's teaching the learners, you get to understand things from a different perspective. Because remember, some of us, we think that perhaps the only solution, it's only this, but whereas the learners will highlight something that's not even here. So I would certainly encourage you to introduce the young ones into such platforms. So for example, here you can see, I'll only touch on one example and I'll lead this into another slot. So now you can see there on the road, we've got a small car. It's an orange car. It's only one person there. We have got a minibus taxi. It's only one person. And we also have a truck, and it's only one person in the truck. So here, for example, if you were to debate with your learners or to encourage debate, you can say to them, what causes greenhouse gas emissions? And this is where you can start by talking about the likes of combustion. Remember earlier on that previous unit where we talked about some of those technological devices or that are used to reduce the likes of sulfur oxide. So here you can say cars are one of the sources or resources that we use that contribute to climate change. And then the learner will ask you, but how? Then that's when you explain by that smoke that they produce from their engines and the likes. So here you'll be like, okay, what is the solution to this? This is you leading them on into an understanding. You shouldn't just leave them in such a way that they'll start thinking and not knowing what to do. Remember, it's all about making it fun for them to learn. So this is where you can slide on the tiles. I hope you can see my tiles that are sliding there. And then you can click on transport technology. When you click on transport technology, there are 4 tabs there. I'm going to select the 4th level. The reason why I want to select the 4th level is because I want to increase the efficiency and as well as contribute more into that ruler into turning green. So here they'll talk about transportation includes the uses of cars, minibus, taxis, trucks, trains, ships, and airplanes, for example. And then they'll say we only consider road and rail transport in this calculator. These vehicles mostly run on petrol and diesel, while many trains run on electricity. And then they'll say that petrol and diesel result in greenhouse gas emissions. So I've broken that down by saying that greenhouse gas emissions are that type of smoke that you see in cars. So when you speak those small or those type of languages to the learners, they get to understand. And when you refer to them that this is what is called greenhouse gas emissions, they get to understand. And then here you will talk about while electric trains have high demand of electricity, it's also part of transportation. And then the last part here says that the engines in these vehicles can be changed to use alternative types of fuels or increase their efficiency to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Other types of fuels that can be used to motor transport includes electricity, fuel cells, compressed natural gas, and hybrid petrol or diesel and electric vehicles. Changing this vehicle design technology also results in the need of less energy, which results in less greenhouse gas emissions. And then this is where you can even say that an example is a design change is making the vehicles lighter. That's why we have those cars that only use electricity or batteries. They don't use petrol at all. And some young ones, they'll even say, but why don't we have cars that have that are running on water or that are running on sand or running on this, then the debate starts to be, massive, and you get to also open their minds as well. And then vehicle efficiency have improved in both road and rail vehicles by 2050, even more so than in level 3. The fuel types will change even more by 2050. Almost all new cars are electric, hybridized, or hydrogen fueled. 95% of buses and minibuses are either electric powered, hydrogen, or natural gases. And then it says that, did you know that 90% minibuses running today run on petrol? So I want to touch on things such as your lift clubs. So this is where now you can encourage the young ones and say that, imagine if, for example, you were to use lift clubs. So using lift clubs, it's a form of using one mode of transport to go to the same area. So this is also part of reducing the likes of greenhouse gas emissions. So this is just part of the example of it. So now, as I've indicated, looking at the calculator there on the top, it says 5% of target by 2050 has been met. So the tiles that you're seeing on the bottom are some of the encouragements that one can select. And when you select these types of these tiles, these influence what is going on within the simulation app. So now I want to introduce one of the speakers. One of the speakers' names, his name is Shadrach. I want to introduce Shadrach. Shadrach, is Shadrach in?
Yes, he is.
Yes, can you hear me?
Shadrach, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Shadrach. I don't know whether would you like to also share your screen? Oh, there we go. Yes, before you start sharing your screen and your presentation, I'd like to say, is your camera on? Because I see a blank picture there. Shadrach?
Yeah, I was having
There we go. Now I can hear you. Yes.
yeah.
I was saying that looking at that My 2050 online simulation app, what do you think can be done, or how can you use this if you were to educate learners on this regard before we get into your topic?
So first of all, I'm all impressed with that because the way even you explained it, and
Okay, thank
yeah,
you.
and what I like the most is about the simulation, because when we
Yeah.
talk about robotics, we're just thinking about coding and it become more complex. But the way you're breaking it down, so it's so simple for anyone, even our children, to really, first of all, fall in love with robotics. I think that's the starting point, because if they are not interested, how can you move forward and elaborate more about robotics? So first of all, by seeing that the way it looked like it looked like a cartoon for me, so they can even relate to that, and they fall in love with the field, they fall in love with the simulation. Then I think um, they will be very interested to learn more about what you are presenting. So just the presentation, I never thought about it that way, because my friend and I, we're having also a project to a similar project, but we never thought about using simulation to demonstrate to our kids. So I think it's really important. So yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, Shadrach. And I know that you design a robot that can sanitize a place. And from my perspective, that robot is contributing to the environmental sciences space. The reason why I'm saying that is because we face things such as your COVID-19, or perhaps you've got your rodents or your pests. So I feel like do we have such a robot that can do such? And if you do have, please take it away. The floor is yours. If you do have something to share, kindly please share with us and tell us more about this. Some of the technologies that are available.
Thank you so much. Am I allowed to share my screen?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Tumelo, for inviting us to this very interesting platform. So I will really do my best to give a very short presentation about my project. It's still a prototype. First of all, I would like to present myself. My name is Shadrach Imani. I'm currently doing master's degree in industrial engineering, and my project focuses more on how to make use of robotic system to improve the warehouse system in the manufacturing industry. And I'm not here alone, so I'm joined with my friend Elise. So I'll give him 50 seconds to introduce himself, and then after that I'll carry on with my presentation. Thank you. Elise, are you there? Mr. Elise, can you hear me?
It seems like Mr. Elise is not in. Is he in on the chat?
Yes,
I
had him just now.
Yes, because he told me that he's in.
Or perhaps he's disturbed by load shedding.
Okay, maybe I can just carry on. I'll soon.
All right, sweet.
All right. What is the problem that we've identified first? Everything started in 2019 during the COVID-19 pandemic. As we all know, everyone was affected, the whole world, not just South Africa. Everyone was affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. And it was during this period of time, especially during the lockdown, that my friend Elise and I, being engineers and entrepreneurs, so this was kind of an opportunity to apply whatever we've been learning in school. So we decided to conduct some deep research and see what would be our contribution to the world regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. So therefore, we came up with an idea to develop a UV robot. Just for the information, the UV is a powerful tool. I hope we know about the UV light. So it's a powerful tool that is able to disinfect, to kill up to 99.9% of any germs, viruses, and this includes the COVID-19. So just with that information, knowing as well that the UV light can be so harmful to the human being, once you come across it, it can really affect your skin, your eyes. So that is why we thought about developing a UV robot, a robot that can be autonomous, able to conduct the disinfecting process. Besides that, I'm just giving an overview about the preliminary design. So besides that, we thought as well about the product life cycle, because very soon we knew that people might forget about the COVID-19, even though the viruses, the bacteria are still around. But once you present a product that can reduce the infection rate of the COVID-19 pandemic, once you present it, while people are no longer emphasizing, or the media is no longer emphasizing about the COVID-19, that can affect even the marketing aspect of your product. Therefore, we identify another similar problem to that, a parallel problem to that, and which consists of the pest control industry. So I don't know if we are aware that the exposure to the chemicals used in the pest control environment, long-term exposure can cause serious damages such as cancer and so many other diseases. So we also thought about it and say, okay, what if we try to automate the pest control operations? Therefore, as a conclusion, my friend and I decided to design a disinfectant and pest control robot. Very quickly, I will give you an overview of how it works. As I was saying earlier, it's a UV LED module. It uses UVC light. Obstacle detection by using the sensors. The robot, it is able to automatically through the sensors, it's able to identify any obstacle around while being in operation. An obstacle could be, for example, bumping to the wall or to a table, a chair that can be around. By using the sensors, the robots can automatically avoid that. 360-degree coverage, which means it covers the entire surface around it, up to 3 meters. Motion detection. Once again, I was talking about the impacts of the UVC light on the human being. Why motion detection? We've added proximity sensors to our robot in a way that it is able to easily identify if a human being is around when it's being in operation. And then the robot can automatically shut off. And once the person goes away, and then can carry on with the operations. So what is so unique about, I'm really going fast because I've got a video that will give more light to the theoretical part that I'm presenting. What is so unique about this robot? First of all, it is user-friendly. This is not the first UV light or disinfecting robot. Already in China and USA and India as well, you can find this technology, and it was introduced since 2020. But what makes this particular one unique? First of all, it is user-friendly. Most of the robots that you can find in the market, as I was mentioning about the one manufactured in USA and China, those software or those robots are so difficult they are so complex when it comes to manipulating it. But with this one, we've designed a very simple software. I wish we had a face-to-face meeting so that I can demonstrate it. It's so user-friendly, even a layperson can easily manipulate or make use of this robot. You don't need extra or deep knowledge in IT to use this robot. And secondly, its flexibility or ability to be used as a pest control and disinfectant robot. As much as we've done our research, we haven't seen any robot that could perform both operations, unless someone is here who has seen such. I'm not saying this is the very first one, because we never know when it comes to technology and innovation. But as much as we've done our research so far, we haven't seen any technology similar to this one that can easily be used as a disinfectant. At the same time, you use it as a pest control robot. This was just a bill of materials. Some of the equipment that we've used to design. This is just an overview. I didn't want to give it to go into the details because we are still in the process of acquiring the intellectual property. So this is just an overview of some of the main equipment that we made use of to design the robot. This was kind of a solid work design because we wanted to have a picture at least of how this robot could look like, just the image of it and simulate it. Therefore, we tried to design it on SolidWorks. And the first video that I'm going to show you is kind of a simulation model. I don't know if we can really see this one. If you check by the corner here, you'll see that it showcases everything that is happening in your home. So you can be sitting somewhere in your office, just from your computer, you can see everything and use, of course, you're using your remote. You can easily see everything that is happening, the disinfection process that is happening in the targeted area. So as you can see, for instance, I was talking about obstacle detection. So you can see that the robot will be able to avoid bumping to this table right here, right? So just by using the sensors, it's able to avoid that. So this was just a simulation model of it. And then the next video that I'm going to show you is the actual prototype that we've built so far. Please let's watch it, and then I will carry on later. All right. Let's go back. This technology can be used in various places, such as in hospitals, schools, offices. Yeah, it's not kind of limited. So this was the team that are still working on this project. As you can see, we've got a robotic engineer, industrial engineer, and mechanical engineer as well. These are some of the presentations and awards that we've received so far. Just mentioning some of them, we're able to win the second prize at the China University of Technology, the Innovation Challenge 2021. And another one was the Falling Wall Lab 2022. That's where I got to meet Mr. Tumelo, and we also won the second prize. So we've presented as well to so many conferences, especially innovation and technology. So yeah, as Mr. Tumelo was talking about the impact of this technology that we're building up. So our first motive was not about how much we're going to sell this robot, even though it's a good product that can be introduced in the market. But our motivation was how can we save our community in facing this COVID-19 pandemic crisis. So, and I believe with this kind of technology, so we can even save lives, because we also spoke about the pest control, the impact of this technology if being introduced in the pest control environment. How can that really have an impact? Because now the pest control worker can be able to use this technology instead of the traditional way of conducting the pest control operations. So yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the impact of this new technology, and it's still a work in progress. We are done with the first prototype. Now we are in the process of building up another one, which will be a bigger size. Because as you could see in the video, that was a smaller size. So now we're building a bigger size of this robot that will have a similar design that we're planning to, like the final design, and even the size of the actual product. Thank you so much. I will hand over to Mr. Tumelo. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shadrach. Please keep your presentation like that. I'll open the floor for any questions. Kindly please unmute yourselves or raise your hand while we have Shadrach in the house. Anyone who has a question specifically for Shadrach? Kindly please raise your hand, please. All right, we don't have any question yet. I'll ask questions. Oh, thank you once again, Mr. Shadrach and colleagues. Kindly please move backwards a bit. There's that part where you are indicating the number of sensors and just go back again.
Right.
There we go, yes. Bill of material, yes. I see here you have 4 ultrasonic sensors. Where are your sensors? Are they in the corners of your robots? Or they are just in the front?
No, they are in the corners. Unfortunately, my camera is not working, so I could have easily show you the robots.
So the purpose of them is to detect the opticals or objects, as you mentioned.
Exactly.
So how many centimeters or meters did you set your ultrasonic sensors?
3 meters.
3 meters.
Yeah.
And
Remember, you've
then
got various sensors, so it depends on the capacity as well. So, but the one that you've got are 3 meters. Yeah.
okay, and I see you also have passive infrared sensors, and you have 8 of them. What are passive infrared sensors?
I wish Elise was here because he could have elaborated more on this one.
Okay.
Mainly the bill of materials.
Does that include the LiDAR sensors? What are LiDAR sensors as well? I see you have 2 of them. Are those the eyes or what?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do you use the LiDAR sensors for?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. When it comes to the bill of materials, because I'm an industrial engineer and he's a robotics, so I design and he built up the final product. So that's how we work actually. So he was supposed to elaborate more. Unfortunately, he's having load shedding, so couldn't make it. Yeah.
Kindly please go to another slide. I'll let you know. I think go to the next slide. No, not this one. The one there again.
This one?
Again. Yes. So oopsie. See your screen just went blank. No, go back again. That simulation app, or is that the simi video?
Yeah, this one I designed it by using Simio. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Okay.
Simio simulation. So yeah, that's the software I use to design this.
So you're saying the purpose of this is just to demonstrate how the robot will function.
Exactly. So you have a picture actually. You have because even before you build up your product, you can have like the design, even the information about the mass, the equipment that you use. So everything can be included in the. So what we do actually, because I'm an industrial engineer, So I received a design from a mechanical, my friend Precious, who does mechanical engineering. So she designed on SolidWorks, the first design, and then I put it on a simulation model. So yeah, that's the purpose of it. And you can Google it, simulation. So it is software that you use to simulate any, like most of the manufacturing equipment.
Right, and then can you even zoom in towards the robot? Is that a similar type of robots that you are designing?
To zoom this, you mean this simulation model?
Yes.
No, this was a video. I
It's a
downloaded
video.
it
Okay.
and then I put it on PowerPoint.
Oh, all right, makes sense. Kindly please go to the next slide again where you said target market. I see there on your target market you are addressing. Yes, go back.
All right, yeah.
Yes, there we go. I see here you are saying you are addressing the likes of hospitals, schools, workplaces, which are your offices, your restaurants, your hotels, and your homes. And this is, are you only limited to disinfecting or fumigating only for COVID-19? Or is there any other thing as well that this robot can do as well?
Remember the disinfecting is not limited just to the COVID-19. Like for instance, in hospital, I forgot to mention that we're working already with some medical doctors, like in this project, like to find out more about how they do the disinfection processes in hospitals. So one thing is that this is a daily basis when it comes to the medical environment. They do it on a daily basis. And most of the time because we have seen, we went to visit and see how it is conducted, and it is done manually actually. So people, they come with the chemicals and I think that is not a proper way of doing that, because even the people that are disinfecting the environment can easily get infected as well. And when talking about bacteria and viruses, we're not just talking about COVID. So you've got a lot, like millions of bacteria, type of bacteria. So it's not just about the COVID-19. So yeah, and the COVID-19, it just like for instance, when you talk about sanitizing, so this is one of the operations that we do to disinfect the area, like because with the COVID-19, then many people were aware of the disinfection process, but on hospitals, they can use it instead of people using it manually. So now we can introduce these robots, so it's gonna be even more safe. And apart from disinfecting, that's when I was talking about the pest control. When it comes to pest control, everyone, we've got cockroaches and so many insects in our home, and this can be a powerful technology that can address that.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Shadrack. I don't know whether do we have any questions from our online participants. If you do have a question, please raise your hand or unmute yourself. Kindly, please feel free. Anyone? Before I let Mr. Shatrit go. I see we don't have questions. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Shatrak. Really appreciate this opportunity. And to our online participants, if you do have questions, please let me know. Or if you don't have any questions, I think we can call it a day. But really appreciate this opportunity for being part of this different interactive robotics and environmental sciences session. This is an interactive session whereby we highlight different types of technological devices that are being used within the environmental sciences space, as well as we also tackle different types of apps that one can use in order to teach their learners how to solve environmental issues or address environmental issues in a fun way. But since we don't have any questions, I would like to take this opportunity and thank the UNISA Science Engagement Center team. Thank you so much for giving us this platform. And to the online participants, thank you. And for those that are watching the recording, thank you so much for taking the time. We are signing out. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.